Let me take up another matter before we get to the jail. Rachel McKercher, 18-513. Ms. McKercher, I'm looking at a police statement and some conditions of suspension or probation. Have you gone over these?
I have.
Do you understand what's in these documents?
I do.
Do you understand the charges against you and the range of penalties if you're convicted?
I do.
You've signed these documents, haven't you?
I have.
Okay, are you pleading guilty to possession of drug paraphernalia?
I am.
By entering your plea, you're giving up your right to have a trial and giving up your right to have an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering your plea freely and voluntarily?
I am.
Other than what's in these documents, have you been promised anything to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
Okay. Has anyone threatened you or pressured you to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
Are you guilty of this crime, ma'am?
I am.
Okay, let me see. This is a 2018 case. Well, in 2018, when you were arrested, you were in possession of methamphetamine here in Baxter County. Paraphernalia here in Baxter County.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? This time, ma'am, I'll accept your plea, judge you guilty. You'll be sentenced to 6 years in the Arkansas Department of Corrections to be suspended. A condition of your suspension and probation is that you serve 120 days in the Community Corrections Center. You pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, DNA fee of $250, $20 booking fee, drug crime assessment of $125. Pay what you owe at a minimum rate of $100 per month, beginning within 60 days. 60 days after your release, make your payments to the Sheriff's Department here in Baxter County.
Your Honor, what case number was that?
It's 18-513.
Okay, Judge, this defendant has a second case. It's 18-201.
Okay. Get this to work.
Does he have a plea?
It's the police statement right
Oh,
there.
you have, there's another one.
Yes.
I wish I'd known that. Well, we'll go through it again. Looking at another police statement in terms and conditions which you've signed, and you understand what's in these documents,
I do.
and you understand the charges against you and the range of penalties if you're convicted,
I do.
and you're pleading guilty to, let me look here, possession of drug paraphernalia, a D felony. Is that what you pleading guilty to, possession?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
It'll be the same plea, except for this one will have a $1,000 fine as opposed to a $2,000
Okay.
fine.
So you understand you're giving up your right to trial and appeal in this case also?
Yes, sir.
Have you been threatened or pressured or promised anything to get you to change your plea in this
No,
case?
sir.
And you're guilty of this crime?
Yes, sir.
I sent you to 6 years probation. In this case, you're ordered to pay $200 in cost, a $1,000 fine, a $20 booking fee, drug crime assessment of $125, DNA fee of $250, and you make your payments at the rate of $100 per month, beginning within 60 days after your release. You just see this gentleman here.
I'm sorry.
You'll go with him.
Sure. Drop myself.
State versus Gary Palmer. Possession of drug paraphernalia. It's 19-99. Mr. Palmer, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Let's see, are we appearing for an arraignment?
We are, excuse me, we are, Your Honor. We'd waive a formal reading of the charges, enter plea of not guilty.
Okay, we'll enter that plea, and if we haven't already, we'll send out a scheduling order.
Very well. Thank you, Judge.
Randy Johnson, 19-104. Drug paraphernalia, controlled substances. Also has 17-81. Do you have a lawyer, sir?
Public defender.
Okay, I'll take a look at your application.
Judge, Ms. Bratsfield stepped out, and so I,
Well, this case is before 19-104, is before Judge Webb anyway, so I'll give him a date. March 21st at 9:30 for plea and arraignment in case 19-104. And we'll go to 17-81.
Judge, if I may make an inquiry of Mr. Alexander on 17-81.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, excuse me.
Yes.
Randy, you told me when we visited a little while ago, but what is your middle name?
Wayne.
Wayne. Judge, 1781 is a Randy Alexander Johnson. I wonder if
Okay,
we have a different person.
maybe. Let's see. 17-81 is an alias warrant?
Yes, sir.
Well, there's a judgment in that case on a bond.
Yeah.
So it probably needs to be collected. You may stand aside, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Until he does make a
Sarah Stetka,
Gary Palmer.
19103,
Set up warrant for Marion County.
commercial burglary, theft of property, criminal mischief. Appointed to public defender's office to represent you.
What is her bond?
And
Your Honor, we'd waive a formal reading of the charges and her plea of not guilty.
we will enter that plea of not guilty.
I found a bond.
And
She got a $25,000 bond.
So this says commercial burglary, but lower it says, is it commercial or residential?
It's residential burglary,
Residential,
Your
okay. And if we haven't already, we'll send out a scheduling order.
very well, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am. You may stand aside. Clayton Hatchett, 19-100, which is possession with purpose to deliver controlled substances and drug paraphernalia. And it has 19-98, says delivery of methamphetamine. You have a lawyer, sir?
I have a lawyer for cases presiding in Marion County, but not a lawyer for these most recent charges.
Okay. Are you going to hire a lawyer or make application to the public defender's office?
I intended on having my lawyer handling the cases in Marion County, also handle the case that I've most recently been charged with over here.
Okay, very good. Your cases are before Judge Webb. I'll have you appear on March 21st at 9:30 for arraignment and attorney status.
Could you please, is there any way at all that you could have my bond lowered at all? Because I had my vehicle seized and my place of residence seized, so I have virtually nothing that I can call my own anymore. So getting out is virtually impossible. Is there
Okay.
any way that you could have my bond lowered at all?
Well, I'm looking at the bond in one case, looks to be $2,500. Let me look at the other one. It's $10,000. Considering the charges and that you have other cases pending, that's a fair bond. I'm gonna leave
2,500
it
is
at-
the figure you see?
Say it again?
2,500 is the figure that you see?
Yes, sir, on 19-100 and 19-98, it's $10,000. Those are fair bonds. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right,
Thank you.
all right.
19-96, Kyle Tilley. Breaking or entering, theft of property. Good morning.
Come on.
Do you have a lawyer, sir?
No, sir.
Are you gonna hire a lawyer or make application to the public defender's office?
I already filled one out.
You've already filled one out? Okay,
Yes,
you
sir.
have that? Okay. What did you do with it, sir, when you after you filled it out?
Turned it in.
Who'd you turn it into?
The guard.
Say it again?
The guard.
Okay. Well, at any rate, your case is before Judge Gordon Webb. I'll have you appear on March 21st at 9:30 for arraignment and attorney status. And maybe they can find your application. Ask about it, okay? Because
Yes, sir.
it didn't make its way over here. Okay, thank you. Ricky Glover, 19-95. Delivery of controlled substances, unlawful use of a communication device. You have a lawyer, sir?
I don't believe so yet.
Okay. Are you gonna hire a lawyer?
Well, I don't know, sir. I don't
Okay.
have much in the way of funds.
Say it again?
I don't have much money. I'm hoping
Okay.
to get maybe a public defender.
Okay. Have you filled out an application yet?
I haven't had the resources to, I just now got one, as a matter of
It's
fact.
not, okay. Well, fill it out, and I'm hesitant to say turn it in, but I guess turn it in, and then reappear on March 28th at 10 o'clock for arraignment and attorney status. I'll tell you what,
Oh.
we'll go ahead and enter a plea of not guilty in your cases today, and you can come back for attorney status on March
Is there any
28th.
way to get my bond lowered?
Don't know, what is your bond?
Judge,
Oh, it's up there. I don't know why, but
You don't know what it is?
Judge, it's currently set at $20,000. This is based on 3 alleged sales of methamphetamine.
Okay, you're charged with Class B felonies, Class C felonies, several counts. The Bs carry up to 20 years in the penitentiary, and you've got... I'm gonna leave it where it's at right now, sir.
I would like to say I've never had any felonies. I've never had any charges like this. I've never had, this is ever since I've been going through my divorce and everything, I've been going through rough times the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, right now, I'm gonna leave it where it's at.
I got 3 kids at home.
Yeah. You need to get you a lawyer is what you need.
Alrighty.
That's all you can do right now, thank you. Alicia Lewis, 19-94. Drug paraphernalia, controlled substances. I have appointed the public defender's office to represent you. Your case is before another judge, Judge Gordon Webb. Appeared before him on March 21st at 9:30 for arraignment. Okay, you can stand aside, thanks.
I may approach Judge.
Cody Salee, 19-93. Terroristic threatening. He also has a first appearance on 17-178.
Your Honor, we'd waive a formal reading of the charges,
Okay.
enter a plea of not guilty in this cause.
Okay, 19-93 will enter a plea of not guilty and send out a scheduling order. And I've appointed Mr. Pacing, or the Public Defender's Office, I should say, to represent you. Let me look at 17-178 and see what that amounts to.
And if I may approach, Judge, there's a public defender document for that one as well.
Yeah, 17.
17-178 is a revocation.
Judge, we'd enter a plea of not true in that matter.
Okay, we'll enter the plea of not true. I'll set it for hearing on March 21st at 9:30 or soon thereafter, as Judge Webb can get to it.
Very well. Thank you, Judge.
Here you go, man.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. You can stand aside.
May we address my bond today?
Let me look at your case.
I got a hold on it, don't they?
Is the revocation based on new charge?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna let Judge Webb address that when you appear before him. David Redmond, 14-275.
Your Honor?
Yes.
This is from 4 years ago, this revocation order. I've been to prison for over 3.5 years. Since then, I was incarcerated 2 months. I was incarcerated for 3.5 years before this order was, the first revocation order was issued. The first revocation order was issued on April 27th. I got locked up on April 23rd and was incarcerated all the way until August 17th of last year. I was released on parole and never had anything in the computer or nothing. And I repeatedly checked to see if I had any warrants or detainers out of Baxter County. Nobody had anything. Then I got a technical violation in November 1st and in Jefferson County Jail when the other warrant was issued, the contempt warrant. I was never informed about that. I was in there from November 1st until I went to the SSP program at Malvern on December 10th. And I completed the SSP program last Friday and was released on Monday to this detainer. I've got all my paperwork here from ACC. I've got my time card from ADC, and I've got my acceptance letter to Conway Phoenix House, where I'm supposed to be home planning to as part of my ACC release. And I mean, they're holding a bid for me, but they ain't gonna hold it for me forever. And I wanted to see if I could get OR'd and get a court date to take care of all this. Phoenix House will bring me back up here to take care of this in court, but I don't want to lose my Phoenix. It's hard to get into Phoenix House. I was lucky to get in there. And now that I've finished all these programs and I'm trying to get on with this, I don't want something from 4 years ago to come back and blow me out of the water. So what I'm asking for today is if I can get OR'd, so that I've got paperwork here that if I get released, who to contact immediately upon release, and it says immediately upon my release to report to the Conway Parole Office. So I'm just trying to get to where I'm supposed to be to get everything taken care of, and I'll come back and go. I mean, Phoenix House will bring me back. Woody will drive me back up here to go to court whenever I need to go to court on this. But this is all from 4 years ago.
Your Honor, I think today, if I can look at, it looks like this man pled guilty to theft of property charges back in sometime in 2015.
February 3rd, 2015, I pled guilty to that and took 3 years probation.
Mr. Redmond,
Judge, it would be important to the state as to how long this gentleman was out of jail. Certainly, we would not, at this point, he owes, it looks like he owes $5,144.
How much has he paid?
This says he has never made a payment, but I'd like to look at the time he was in jail. We certainly wouldn't require him to, if you'll give me till an hour or so, we can come back and look at this. If you transport him over here, I don't care. We can look at, give us some time to figure out what length of time he was in jail. But certainly this may have been 4 years ago. It may have been 14 years ago. But if he was out and wasn't in jail and wasn't making his $100 payments, he's probably going to stand on that. But I'll certainly look at the time he was in jail. If he wants to start calculating that and provide that to the court, I'll look at it.
Well, there's been so much said here, I forgot. Do you have a lawyer?
he's supplied to the public defender's office. Judge.
Okay. You represent him?
I do now.
All right. Well, we'll enter a plea of not true. I'll set it for hearing on March 28th, 10 o'clock or soon thereafter as I can get to it. But in the meantime, we'll transport you over here and see if something can be worked out.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Brandon McFarland, 19-89, theft, forgery. Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Your Honor, we would waive a formal reading of the charges, enter a plea of not guilty, and if we could be briefly heard as to bond.
Go ahead.
Judge, from my reading of the file, it looks like the bond is $1,000 cash. The allegations in this case are of a financial nature. Mr. McFarland shares that being able to come up with $1,000 cash is burdensome to him right now. If the court would consider a cash or professional bond at an amount a little bit larger than $1,000, or consider lowering the cash bond. Mr. McFarland shares that he's going to be living here in Baxter County, maybe not the best. He has a friend that he could stay with if he were to make bond. He says he's not going anywhere. So we'd ask the court to either have a cash professional bond at an amount slightly above $1,000 or a lower cash.
Was he on probation or parole?
I don't know.
Does he have any priors?
I think, Judge, I don't know where that originated with. I'd like to look at his priors. I don't know who came up with that. It may be because he has another theft charge that he's just pled to, or he's on probation or parole. I don't. We'll come back to that, Judge. If you want me to look at his history, I don't.
Okay, your lawyer's working on the bond. He's going to, we're going to determine what, if any, criminal history you have.
Okay.
Well, anyway, you can bring that up to me later.
Okay, very well.
Okay, you can stand aside right now, sir. Thank you. Richard Berger, 19-92, furnishing prohibited articles.
Judge, our office represents Mr. Berger on case 18-331. He'll need to fill out a new application for this case, but for purposes of arraignment, we would waive a formal reading of the charges and enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay, we'll enter that plea of not guilty. Appear before, what?
If I may interject, Judge, what we would prefer to do is file a motion to transfer 19-92 to this court's docket and track with 18-331 and try to resolve them both at the same time.
Very well. We'll send out a scheduling order.
Thank you, Judge.
In 1992, we'll enter the plea.
We'd waive a formal reading of the charges and enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay. Okay, so that's all we can do right now. Thanks. Andrew Esposito, 18-191, drug case.
Judge, to give the court some background in this matter, this was a case that Mr. Esposito appeared, I believe, on February 14th to plead. He made inquiry to the court about being able to stay out for a couple weeks in order to be present when his sister had some very significant surgery. She had heart surgery. She has had one, it's my understanding that she has had one surgery, and she's supposed to have another surgery within the next 4 to 5 weeks. Mr. Esposito asked the court to be allowed to either A, continue this matter for plea until that second surgery could be had. That's what he's asking. If we can continue this matter, as he hasn't entered his plea, to be able to continue this for another 5 weeks so he can be present with his sister's surgery.
Is it set for trial?
I think he did plead.
He did.
Oh, he did plead
Yeah,
with
this
delayed
is for
sentencing. That's it,
Yeah,
Judge.
this
My
is-
apologies.
You know, the state is not agreeable to that.
Well, we don't know what the future will bring. I'd rather just go ahead and do the sentence.
Well, that's where we are.
I took the plea. This time, sir, you're previously judged guilty of possession of methamphetamine. You're sentenced to 6 years in Department of Corrections with 2 years suspended for possession of drug paraphernalia, 6 years in Department of Corrections with 2 years suspended. Possession of alprazolam, misdemeanor, 1 day in the county jail. Possession of hydrocodone, 6 years in Department of Corrections with 2 years suspended. You pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, a DNA fee of $250, $20 booking fee, $200 public defender fee, drug crime assessment of $125. Pay what you owe at a minimum rate of $100 per month, beginning within 60 days after your release from incarceration. Payments are made to the Sheriff's Department.
Sir.